Welcome back to everyone. I'm so grateful to join for this episode. Let's take a deep breath together. Have you ever stopped to think about how small island nations become one of the most powerful countries in the world? Today, we travel together to Japan, where we walk through thousands of years of history. We meet emperors and warriors. We will see how traditions and chants live together in one place. This is the story about islands that changed the world. So close your eyes if you can. Breathe slowly. And let's begin this journey together. A very long time ago, more than 2,000 years ago, Japan were not one country. It was many small villages. These villages were on islands. The islands were covered with mountains and forests. The people lived near the sea. They fished, they grew rice, and they simple tools from stone and wood. Life was hard, but the people were strong. They worked together. They believed that God lived in the mountains and the rivers and the trees. They called these gods kami. Every rock, every river, every tree had a spirit. The people respected nature. They thanked the God for the rain, the sun. Slowly, some villages became bigger. Some leaders became more powerful. These leaders want to control more land. They want to control more people. And so, small villages started to join together. They formed clans. Each clan had a chief. The chiefs fought each other. They made alliances. They broke alliances. It was a time of competitions and survival. But one clan became stronger than all the others. This clan was descendants of the sun goddess and Amaterasu. These gods chose them to rule. And slowly, people began to believe them. This clan became the imperial family, and the first emperors of Japan were born. But who was this emperor, and how did he unite these islands? The first emperors of Japan did not have full control. They had power, yes, but the clan were still strong. The emperors needed help. They needed ideas. They looked to their neighbors across the sea. They looked to China. China was a great civilization. China had writing. China had laws. China had Buddhism. Japan wanted to learn. So Japanese leaders traveled to China. They studied. They brought back knowledge. They brought back a Chinese writing system. They brought back Buddhism, a religion about peace and wisdom. They brought back ideas on government. Japan changed quickly. The emperors built a capital city. The city was called Nara. Later, the capital moved to a city called Kyoto. Kyoto became the heart of the Japanese culture. Poets wrote beautiful poems. Artists painted. Monks built temples. The emperors lived a golden palace. But even those emperors were respected. He didn't have real power anymore. The powerful clans controlled the land. They controlled the armies. They controlled the money. The emperors became a symbol. He was like a sun. Everyone could see him, but no one could touch him. And during this time, a new kind of leader appeared. These leaders were called samurais. They were warriors. They fought over the clans. They followed the strict codes of honor. They were royal. They were brave. They were feared. And soon the samurai would change everything. For hundreds of years, Japan was ruled by samurai. The most powerful samurais became military leaders. They were called shoguns. The shoguns had a real power. The emperor stayed in Kyoto, but he only had ceremonies. The shoguns controlled the country. Samurai followed the shogun. They protected him. They fought him enemies. Life in Japan became organized. Every person had a role. The samurais were at the top. Below them were the farmers. Farmers grew rice. Wine is the most important food. Below the farmers were the craftsmen. They make tools, weapons, and beautiful things. At the bottom were the merchants. with Bob and Soul Goose. Everyone knew their place. Everyone followed the rules. But this was also the time of war. Different samurai clans fought each other. They want to land. They want to power. Villages burned. People died. It was a dark time. But even in darkness, culture grew. The samurai created a way of life. They believed in honor, loyalty, and discipline. They practiced martial art. They learned swordsmanship. They meditated. They wrote poetry. They drank tea in silent ceremonies. These were the ways of the samurai, the ways of the warrior. For a long time, Japan was closed. No foreigners were allowed. Japan wanted to stay pure. Japan wanted to stay Japanese. But the wars were changing, and soon the outside world would knock on Japan's door. In the year 1853, something strange happened. Black ships appeared in the Tokyo Bay. These ships were from America. They were huge. They had steam engines. They had cannons. Japanese had never seen anything like them. The Americans brought a letter. A letter was from the President of the United States. It said, "Open your ports, trade with us, join the modern world." Japan was shocked. Japan was afraid. For more than 200 years, Japan had been closed. No one came. No one went out. But now, the Americans were here, and they were powerful. The shogun did not know what to do. Some samurai said, "Fight them, protect Japan." Other samurai said, "Learn from them. Japan must change or die." Japan was divided. There were arguments. There were fights. And then something incredible happened. The emperor returned to power. This was called the Meiji Restoration. The young emperor says, "Japan will change. We will learn from the West. We will become strong." And Japan changed faster than any country in history. They built factories. They built railroads. They built a modern army. They sent students to Europe and America. These students learned science, technology, and government. They came back and taught others. Japan changed from. In just 50 years, Japan became a world power. But this change was not easy. Many people lost all ways of life. The samurais lost their swords. They lost their status. Some were angry. Some were sad. But Japan moved forward, and the world watched an amazement. Japan became powerful, but power can be dangerous. But Japan wanted to be respected. Japan wanted to be equal to the West countries, so Japan built an empire. They took control of Korea. They took control of part of China. They fought wars. And that's come greatest war of all, World War II. Japan joined the war. They fought against America, Britain, and many other countries. At first, Japan won many battles, but slowly, the war turned. Japan lost. The city was bombed. Tokyo burned. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were destroyed by atomic bombs. Millions of people died. Japan surrendered in 1945. The country was broken. The people were hungry. The future was dark. But something amazing happened. Japan did not give up. The Japanese people worked. They rebuilt. They created new companies. They made cars, electronics, cameras. They focused on quality. They focused on innovation. 30 years after the war, Japan was one of the richest countries in the world. Today, Japan is the land of its traditions and technology. You can see ancient temples next to the modern skyscraper. You can see monks in robes and advertisements in shoes. Japan is a country that respects its past, the past into the future. This is the story of Japan. A story of Iceland and rivers, samurais, and rebirth. So you know the story of Japan. From small villages to a global power, from embers to samurais, from isolations to openness, from destruction to rebirth. What can we learn from this story? Japan teaches us can change is hard, but change is necessary. Japan teaches us and tradition of progress can live together. Japan teaches us even after the great loss, we can rebuild, we can grow, we can become stronger again. And you, my friend, you are on your own journey. You are learning English. Some days are easy, some days are hard, but you continue. You listen, you learn, you grow. Just like Japanese, you are building something new. You are creating a better version of yourself. Every story you listen to makes you stronger. Every word you understand is a victory. So I want to thank you for being here today. I want to thank you for trusting me with your time. And I want to invite you to come back next time. We will travel to another place. We will meet other people. We will learn together. If this story touched your heart, please leave a comment below. Tell me what you learned. Tell me where you want to travel next. And if you are new here, subscribe to Storyline English. It's not just a channel. This is a journey we take together. Until next time, breathe deeply, learn slowly, and keep moving forward. I believe in you.